Hi, my name's Tom and this is part 3 of my 31 horror films rundown to Halloween. Last video was a bit long, so I'm going to try and make these a bit shorter. So, number 9, Candyman, and this is one of my favourite horror films of all time. It's a sort of like a modern day urban gothic. Uses a lot of old gothic tropes. The monster is as much a victim as a monster. He's come back and there's a woman who he recognises as being the one he fell in love with hundreds of years ago, and it's a bit like The Mummy, you know, it's that sort of trope. But there's something just so unique about this film. Wonderful score by Philip Glass, and the look of it. There's a lot of it filmed in this really grotty high-rise. It's like a look into life in the ghetto, you know, it's that sort of type of film. It's really quite grim. And it's scary as well, you know, there's some great moments, and the actor Tony Todd really did put bees in his mouth, for real. Number 10, Frankenstein, another classic and another one of my favourite horror films. This probably makes it into my top 5 films of all time, I think. A lot of people prefer the sequel. I actually prefer this one. I think it's better. It's so visually poetic and dark about the whole thing. Lots of silhouetted dark features. It's very stylish, like the German expressionist type films like Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. You know, you got these weird rays of light coming in through the dungeon, and of course Boris Karloff is just amazing. He steals the show, really. He's very, very good as the monster, who doesn't even speak but just conveys so much through his body language. A lot of what people associate with Frankenstein actually comes from this film, as opposed to the book. Things like the burning windmill, that's not in the book, but that's now become a staple of the Gothic genre. That's like a go-to image within Gothic cinema, is the burning windmill on the hill. And that comes from this film, you know, so it's quite a startling image, and it's almost like a precursor to The Wicker Man, really. I would definitely recommend this one if you've not seen it. I'd be surprised you've not seen it because it's such a famous film, but it's really, really good, so do check it out. Number 11, I watched The Bride of Frankenstein because, of course, you know, why not watch the sequel as well. And it's better than I remember it. It's quite a fun film. It's more of a comedy than the first film, so it's very camp. A camp comedy romp, which still manages to have some quite startling scenes, some quite horrific stuff. It's sad, you know, as much as the first one was. It's got a real tragedy running through it, mainly thanks to Boris Karloff. The reveal of the bride is one of those moments in horror cinema, or in cinema full stop, that just seems to be so iconic. And the look of the bride, you know, with the frazzled hair, with the white streaks, is good. It's not as stylish as the first one, and it's not as... It doesn't... Even though there's some really dark stuff that happens in it, it doesn't feel as dark as the first one. I think because it's got a lot more comic relief. Okay, so that's the end of this video. Next time I'll be doing parts 12 to 14. See you then.